So it seems like all anybody is talking about these days is tanking and how the NBA has a huge issue on their hands with tanking, and specifically with the way the Utah Jazz are choosing to tank this year. You saw Bobby Marks, he went as far as to go on ESPN and say the Utah Jazz are ruining the integrity of the game, and I think that's bullshit. I think he's overblown it. There's three issues that the league has that I think are way bigger issues than tanking. Issue number one, sports betting and how the league is so in bed with these different sports betting agencies. I mean, most of the teams in the NBA, they run their local broadcasts through the FanDuel Sports Network. So as you're watching it, you're just getting the over-unders on the bottom and you're getting incentivized to gamble. And it's just thrown in your face. It's disgusting. We've seen the Terry Rozier, the Jonte Porter, Chauncey Billups, all that stuff. That is just the tip of the iceberg, guys. The more that the NBA gets in bed with these companies, the more that you're kind of tempting some of these bottom of the barrel players, some of these fringe players to do stuff like this. Obviously, it's probably never going to be the Jokic's and the Lukas of the world, but the more that you make this a little bit more accessible and more tempting for the players, you know, the Jonte Porters of the world, the guys who aren't making crazy money, the more issues we're going to see. And honestly, I think it goes a lot deeper than what's been uncovered so far. The Giannis thing is disgusting too. I know that technically doesn't affect the on-court product. He got in bed with a company that was taking wagers on where his next destination would be. If you look into the timeline of all of it, it's really disgusting what Giannis did, and it just looks bad for the NBA to have one of their marquee players in bed with one of those companies. So that's issue number one. If we're going to talk about the integrity of the league, you can't be so far in bed with these sports betting agencies. Issue number two, honestly, it's the way the game is played now and the rule book of the game. I'm old as fuck, guys. I'm 36 years old. I've been watching basketball for 30 years now. I'm telling you, the game is called looser than ever. The rules matter less now than they ever have. A lot of the stuff that players do now, the gather in two steps, the rip throughs, the step throughs, all that stuff was called travels for 90% of this league's history. Don't even get me started on the ball handling, the carrying. I grew up loving Allen Iverson, and yeah, Allen Iverson carried the shit out of the ball. He's kind of the catalyst for the way that players are allowed to handle the ball now. They gave him a little bit of leeway, and now it's just gotten disgusting. So the rule book does not seem to matter with a lot of this stuff anymore, and it makes the game look really bad. And then you tune into a game, and there's so much flopping and foul baiting and everything, also makes the game look bad. It's also, you never know what you're going to get night to night as far as the referees go. You might get a game where the refs let them play a little bit, and then you might get a game where they're calling every little foul, the ticky-tack bullshit. So if we're talking about the integrity of the game, the fact that players are allowed to get away with so much, that the rule book doesn't seem to matter, and that they're manipulating the way the game is called too with the foul baiting and the flopping, that's a much bigger issue when it comes to the integrity of the game. And finally, the last issue, if we're just going to talk integrity of the game, getting these guys to actually fucking play. Did you guys see the list yesterday after LeBron missed his game? The list came out of guys who are already ineligible to make all NBA. And keep in mind, this rule that everybody's so bent out of shape out of, it's 65 out of 82 games. That is showing up to work 80% of the time. What job do you have where you expect to show up less than 80% of the time and still get rewarded? It just doesn't exist. And in other pro sports, it does not exist. NFL players don't expect to show up to work 80% of the time and still get all the rewards. MLB players, same thing. Hockey players, same thing. It's strictly an NBA problem. So you got all these guys. For last night, for instance, the Lakers and Spurs game, Luka sat out, Reeves sat out, LeBron sat out, all these guys sat out, and they didn't really have reasons to. I'm not going to say that they're not hurt, but also this is professional basketball. At some point, you're just going to be hurt. I used to fight. I used to compete in MMA, and we always used to say you never go into a fight fully healthy. That's just a myth. The way you got to train for it, you're always going to go in with some bumps, some bruises. You just got to work through it. It's the same thing in the NBA, man. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. When you get to this halfway point and you've been competing, yeah, you're going to have some bumps, you're going to have some bruises, but showing up to work day in and day out, I mean, people are just flat out getting sick of guys not being in games. I mean, you can't buy a ticket to a game more than 3 days in advance anymore because you don't know if the guy's going to show up and play or not. You basically just got to hope that you can buy the ticket the day of and that the guy's actually going to show up and do his job. So if we're talking about the integrity of the game, those are the three things that are a big issue to me. Tanking, not really an issue to me. I think is largely overblown. I think that the way the system is set up, teams have to tank. It's the only way these bottom of the barrel teams are ever going to get the kind of franchise challenge, the franchise changing talent that it takes to get out of the bottom of the league. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. When you look at the NBA, what are the biggest issues to you?